Alright, so, just a little preference. Before we start, I just want to preface this. The villain of the story, actually, she has a violin, but my violin is out of tune right now, and I am actually better at the ukulele than I am at violin, so I'm going to be playing ukulele instead of violin just for my, easier purposes. Anyway, this is the music of revenge. We open with Crescendo's lair, where a musical fight is taking place between Mr. Goodman, the hero for the story, and Crescendo, the main antagonist. You think you can stop me? Ha! With this orchestra of mine, I'm practically unstoppable. During the fight between them, the fight becomes a tableau, freezes on Crescendo's face, then we get narration from Jackson Goodman, the main protagonist. Let's stop right here. That lady you see? That's Crescendo. The camera pans over to Mr. Goodman. And that's my dad, Walter Goodman, our town's hero. Or so I thought. Let me take you back to the day I realized what was really going on. We rewind back to the start of the play/movie, specifically 2 hours ago. Jackson and Mr. Goodman are at the table eating dinner. So isn't that a good enough argument? Why can't I save the world like you? Because your powers aren't developed enough. Yes, they are. Here, look. He attempts to lift the flower vase off the table, but ends up breaking it and it smashes. Exhibit A. He gestures to the vase. I'm just trying to protect you. Do you know how dangerous Crescendo has gotten? Crescendo? Oh, come on! How dangerous can music possibly be? Clearly you know nothing about dynamics. Just then an alarm sounds. Mr. Goodman tears off his clothes. Under it is his supersuit, which is blue and yellow. I'll be back. Dad, let me come with you, please? Look, Jackson, when you learn to control your powers, then maybe I'll consider it. But until then, I can't let you get hurt, all right? Jackson nods reluctantly and he leaves. We then see Jackson get his own supersuit despite his dad's warning and head into the city. Blackout. Next scene. In the middle of the city, we see Crescendo playing a violin and making destruction while doing so. Enter police officers. Freeze! She stops playing but doesn't drop the instrument. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm so glad you're here. You're just in time for the show. Show? She begins playing an excerpt of March, which I'll probably change that. It doesn't matter, an instrument, that's a violin piece, but, I'm probably gonna play, Spring in a Storm or something. Then the police officers all drop their weapons and fall to the ground, all dead. Enter Jackson, who notices Crescendo, saw what she had done, and backs away. She notices this and advances toward him. Don't worry, I'm not mad. Just a bit nervous is all. Nervous? Why? Mr. Goodman has been pursuing me for months now. Pathetic, really. Why are you here? Well, Walter Goodman is wow. Okay, let's try that. Take 3. Well, Walter Goodman is my dad, so Wait, Walter? Yes. I should have known! Known what? What did you do that was so bad? Let me show you. She plays a piece, and as she does so, a flashback of Walter Goodman appears as he breaks her violin, and it shatters. The flashback has concluded, and we're back to the present day. Why did you do that? We used to be in orchestra together. Best friends, actually, until he got jealous of how good I was getting. It wasn't my fault that music was and is my passion. Even my orchestra teacher complimented me on my dynamics. A few weeks later, a music competition was held, and we were put against each other. After I had won, that's when it happened. So what's your goal with your music now? To create an orchestra of my own. An orchestra to hypnotize the entire world. An orchestra that will create a musical monopoly. So, what do you say? Wait, me? You want me to join your orchestra? I can't turn the page. Of course. Why would you want to be a hero like your father when you've been so underestimated by him? If you join me, I will never doubt your talent. But I've never played an instrument before. I'll teach you everything you need to know. But what about my dad? He'll obviously be worried and know something's up. Your dad? Well, that's the best part. Do you think he'll be here soon? Because I sent that false alarm about 20 minutes ago. I didn't think he'd take this. Enter Mr. Goodman, who... That's supposed to be an interruption, but I'm just reading the stage directions. Anyways, Crescendo! And... Jackson, is that you? Yes, it is. What are you doing here? I told you to stay home, and I'm telling you to stop. She plays a chord, and... I can't find where I am. She plays a card, then Mr. Goodman freezes. Oh, what a marvelous sight. My arch rival. Frozen in my own music. This day couldn't get any better. What did you do to him? Tableau. One of the many magical, musical, theatrical things I've learned. Now, shall we go? Jackson looks at his now frozen father. Then he remembers what his dad said to him earlier in the story. Just closing the door. We shall. Excellent. Haha. Blackout. Next scene in Crescendo's lair. Mr. Goodman is strapped to what appears to be a chair on the other side of the room. We see all the citizens that Crescendo was tricked, holding orchestral instruments. Violin, viola, cello, bass. I can't pronounce viola. Anyways. And she is at the front holding a conducting baton. The hero wakes up and looked around, bewildered. Mr. Goodman then notices Jackson in the orchestra. Crescendo advances toward him. Have you ever felt emotion in your music, Mr. Goodman? No. Well, you're about to. What do you mean? What are you playing at? This orchestra of mine will make you feel things. Things that you never knew you could feel. You say you're indestructible, correct? That's because I am, so, yes. Well, nobody, not even you, is indestructible to the power of passion. Can't find it. Well, she starts conducting while still having a conversation. Oh, so I have to play this. Okay. I can't read this and do it twice. Okay. I'm just gonna... Do you know what this piece of mine is called? Do I want to know? No, but I'll tell you anyway. It's called Spartacus. It's actually not. But it'll make sense in post. One of my personal favorites. But that's the last piece I played before you destroyed my old friend. Yes, I know. Consider this something I'd like to call revenge. To the violin. We'll do wonders, my friend, won't we? Sweeney Todd reference. As the piece is being played, he finds it harder and harder to breathe. Finally, he manages to get these words out. I challenge you. The orchestra stops and Crescendo turns to look at him. All right, I accept. If I win, you let everyone here, including me, go, and you'll turn yourself in as well. All right, no. When I win, then I'll continue to expand this orchestra, inevitably creating worldwide domination. She undoes the straps on the chair and hands him a violin from one of the orchestra members. What piece are we playing? Symphonia. It's one of the more challenging ones. All right, where's the sheet music? No music necessary. I've got it up here. She points to her brain. How is that fair? It's not. That's the point. But I digress. Shall we begin? Fine. They begin to play with Crescendo looking abnormally confident. Ew, I have spit on it. Anyways. While in the background, Jackson, unbeknownst to her, takes the conducting baton from her pocket, then starts conducting, signaling the orchestra to join Mr. Goodman's part of the song. You think you can stop me? Ha! With this orchestra of mine, I'm practically unstoppable. Your orchestra? She looks at Jackson, goes to the baton, then realizes that her orchestra is no longer on her side, and with every note that they play, she starts getting weaker and eventually drops to her knees, but not dropping the violin. You've lost, Crescendo. To your son, not to you. That wasn't the deal. So just for that, she begins to play an excerpt of Dragon Hunter, which causes Mr. Goodman and the entire orchestra, except Jackson, to be trapped in a force field. I truly thought you were with me. I guess I was wrong. She begins to laugh maniacally, then begins to play again, causing the violin along with her bow to spew out lightning straight at Jackson, and when it hits him, he falls back against the force field, looking at his dad with pleading eyes. But before he can get up, he is now high above the ground. Jackson. Okay, Crescendo, let us out of this infernal contraption. But if I do that, that'll ruin the show, and you wouldn't want that, would you? Jackson falls to the ground and spots a violin. He grabs it just in time before Crescendo notices. And now for the grand finale.